Hero Guitars, and this is a follow-up video to the one that I did in the new year where I suggested that the doors might be closing on the Unsung Hero Guitars workshop in some point in the near future. And indeed now it is time. Things have moved on apace stateside, and I'm now into the final 2 weeks of this workshop being open here in the UK. So all of the 11 guitars that are lined up behind me are available. One or two I've spoken for already, but I've got those to finish up and a half a dozen guitars for customers to finish too, so quite a tall order. But this is a quick heads up to let you know if there's anything in here that catches your eye, anything you're looking for, whether it's a custom spec or even a custom finish. Please let me know as soon as you can, particularly if it's a custom finish, because I'm going to need to get the materials, carry out the work, and obviously there needs to be cure time in there as well, so we need to get a wiggle on if we're going to do that. But I'm going to walk you through each and every one in this video, and you let me know if there's anything that catches your eye, because these are the last ones that are going to be coming out of Unsung Hero Guitars UK workshop for the foreseeable future, if not in fact ever, but we will see. So here we go, let me know if there's anything you'd like. Okay, so first up there's this 2014 Epiphone Les Paul Standard. Beautiful looking guitar in Pelham blue. It's had the Joe Bonamassa-like work over to make it like that model. It's received full fretboard work through. As you can see, those frets are nicely leveled, recrowned and polished. There's not a mark on this guitar. It's pristine. Obviously all the black plastics have replaced the original cream. So circuitry wise, it's had a new switchcraft toggle, CTS pots in there, and also these are Alnico Pro, Epiphone Alnico Pro pickups. They're quite hot, quite lively, very nice. And we've got a push for the coil split individually on the bridge and neck pickups. So that's a beauty. If you really want to complete the Bonamassa model look, there is even a hard case available for this, brown with a pink lining. So let me know if you would like that. I will put prices and details in any posts so that you can see. Give me a shout. The next one is this Desert Burst Traditional Pro. Lovely looking guitar. It's received again a full fret level recrown and polish. It needs reassembly, so it's going to have its Grover tuners put back, and as usual the stock circuitry is all out of there. The original Zebra coil pickups are going back in, the Epiphone Pro Buckers, great pickups. They're Epiphone's version of the Gibson Pro Bucker. And there's going to be a switchcraft toggle, CTS pots, and again we'll have the coil split facility. So that's going to be a sweet guitar. That's a 2014 Traditional Pro. Details will be in the post below. Now this next guitar is a 2003 Standard in wine red, but it's received a refinish to give it that very subtle black burst around the edge. Now it's going to have received full fretboard work through, hasn't been done yet. Obviously needs all its hardware putting back together, and it'll get upgraded circuitry. And I've even got lined up for this, let me grab them, a pair of pickups which I think might suit it nicely. Looking at P90, humbucker size P90 for the bridge position, and in the neck where I've got a 4 conductor Gibson Classic 57 Plus. So that's going to be a lovely set of pickups. Going to give you some interesting tones with the combination of the P90 and that splittable Gibson Classic Plus pickup. So let me know if you fancy anything other than that. But there is that wine red in from 2003 at the Unsung factory in Korea. Anybody that knows my gold top will know I believe that is the sweet spot for whatever reason. Next up is this Flying V. Now I cannot resist a Flying V. More to the point, I cannot help but hear Scorpions riffs every time I look at one. It's an affliction, and it's one that I enjoy. So this is a 2003 model from the Unsung factory again. The sweet spot, love it. This is, despite being what is now 16 years old, it's absolutely pristine. There is not a mark, dent, ding on it anywhere. There's a little bit of tarnishing on the gold, which will be cleaned up. The fretboard obviously will have the obligatory work through to make that play sweet as a nut. New circuitry, there's going to be CTS pots put in there, and I have lined up, let me grab them. I have these gold H-gate pickup covers with gold mesh behind, and inside there lurks a Gibson USA pickup 15K, so it's a hot pickup. So I'm going to have a pair of these Gibson pickups going in there with this H-gate. This is going to look mean. Holy smoke, that's going to look sweet. So this is going to be a flying V with quite a difference. Beautiful looking guitar. It's Carina wood, mostly a natural finish. So again, price and details will be in the post below. Let me know if you're interested. Well, yes, this Flying V has a full-on hard case as well, and a cool case it is. So that will come with it if you're interested in the V. Next up is this SG Prophecy model. Has that lovely quilted top with a subtle black edge. This hasn't been cleaned up yet. It will be polished up like a new pin, and same with the fretboard. That'll get a full work through, full level, recrown and polish. The headstock on this has actually been repaired here at the workshop. It's now back in one piece. Just needs a polish up yet, but other than that, you've got to look kind of close to know. So it didn't break at the neck in the usual place. It didn't do that. It broke midway through the headstock. Whether someone stood on it, whoops, I don't know. But that's all in one piece. That'll be rock solid. And in there are some dirty finger pickups, and it'll obviously have a switchcraft toggle and CTS pots. We'll see about the gold hardware. Looks pretty good. If I decide that's too tarnished, I will find some that looks a bit prettier. So that's an SG Prophecy from 2008. If you're interested in that, let me know. Next up is this Les Paul Studio from 2012, finished in white. Nice and simple, nice and straightforward. It's the full thickness model, so it's pretty substantial for a Les Paul, as you'd suspect. Needs all its hardware putting on. Needs the fretboard to be cleaned up and level, recrown and polish. Also needs a new toggle. It's going to have CTS pots. So once finished, this will be a sweet little axe. Make no mistake about that. It'll be full of the Les Paul tones. Be a real nice guitar. It's not had a rough life, other than someone breaking the switch. It's not beat up at all, so that'll make a sweet little guitar for somebody. So next up we have a Les Paul Standard from 1996. So you can almost say this is vintage. It's getting that way. 23 years old. It's received a few bumps and nicks along the way. So those are currently being addressed. They're being filled, and it'll get a fresh coat of lacquer once it's done. The finish was translucent blue, but you can see how green it's getting in the middle. Looks really rather sweet, actually. A client of mine suggested it looks like the Ibanez Prestige type finish, and I'd agree. That looks good. It's going to have a refret because the ones that are on it are just a little too low. I like a little more meat on the bone. Obviously the hardware's got to go back on. That'll be full set of tuners, obviously, and the usual switchcraft and CTS components with braided cable. And in terms of pickups, I've got a pair of, let's let that focus, Gibson 57 Classics to go in there. So this will be a sweet little guitar once it's done. Let me know if that's of interest to you. So next is a 2008 Epiphone Les Paul Standard in Honeyburst, one of their various iterations of Honeyburst. It's been lots down the years. This one is going to have a full refret because those are just a little too worn. Obviously all the hardware is going to go back. Switchcraft toggle, CTS pots, orange drop tone caps, vintage braided cloth cable going to go in there. Probably standard pickups. If I can find some Pro Buckers or similar that would give you split coil option, then we'll go for that. Or indeed, you let me know if you have any other ideas in mind. So that's 2008 Les Paul Standard in Honeyburst. Let me know if you're interested. Okay, so now we're moving on to some custom work. This is a 2008 Les Paul Studio. It was in worn brown. The frets are in decent condition. They just need a level, recrown and polish. The guitar itself is relatively free of dings, bumps and digs, but as you can see, it's been fully sanded. It's been sanded right back. That's because this is going to have a Daphne blue refinish, or baby blue, whatever you'd like to call it. Surf blue. Is that surf blue? Maybe it's surf green. This is going to be surf green. So this is a baby blue plans for this one. Again, it's going to have nice circuitry, good components in there. So let me know if you'd be interested in that, or whether you want it in a different color. We'll fix it. Thanks. So this SG, this is also planned for a refinish. It's been sanded back and the board is all masked up and ready for a refinish. This one is going to be surf green. Be a beautiful looking thing, and I'm actually going to detail where these edges, that bevel is all the way around. I'm going to detail that in black, maybe a sort of a black fade or something. So it's going to be surf green with some black highlights. In my mind, it sounds pretty sweet. Circuitry wise, obviously going to have the decent components in there as is normal. Full fret level, recrown and polish, of course. So that's going to be a sweet little SG with a custom finish once it's done. Let me know if that would interest you. So here's another guitar that I wanted to share with you. This is an Epiphone 339, the smaller body 335. This has had a custom refinish, as you can tell. This is 99% spoken for, this guitar. It's had a gold top, but with a tobacco tint lacquer with some airbrushing on the edges as well. So as my client, who is very interested in it, said, it's a gold top backy burst, and I think that's the perfect way to describe it. So this has been refinished, so just sharing this with you as an example of what can be done. Now, the last guitar in this lineup is actually already spoken for, but I'm going to share it with you anyway to show you what can be done. This was a Trans Amber Les Paul Standard from 2008, I believe. Let me double check. Sure enough, 2008. This has been, it's being given a Peter Green makeover. It's had some very subtle extra burst put on there and some vintage amber lacquer. So the fretwork is looking lovely on the board. So this is already spoken for, already paid for actually. So it's soon to be finished up. Going to have a lovely set of Gibson pickups in there, all the high-end circuitry. So this is a beautiful looking guitar. It just needs a final little bit of polish. And I'm even going to put a Voss type, slightly satin finish on that as well once it's done. So this is going to be a sweet axe. Don't get too excited about buying it because it's already spoken for, but just an example of the sort of thing that can be done. So in addition to the brown and pink Gator hard case, which you saw earlier, I also have some standard black Gator hard cases as well. If you want one of those to go with a Les Paul, let me know. Okay, so there we have it. That's a rundown of the final dozen guitars which are going to be coming through the Unsung Hero Guitars workshop here in the UK. Who knows with the USA in future, perhaps. But for now, that is it. So please let me know if there's anything that takes your fancy and we'll get it worked out. Thank you.